Okay. Okay. Good evening. It's now 6 p.m. on April 21st. The meeting of the Dublin Cinnamon Services District Board of Directors is called to order. Can we pledge the flag, please?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all very much. Roll call, please. Item 4, item 3.
Director Goel,
Present.
Director Duarte, Director Von Heater-Leopold,
Here.
Vice President Govindarao,
Here.
President Halkett.
I'm here. Okay, item 4A, special announcements and activities, new employee introductions. I see people, so I suspect we have several. Jan, you take it away.
Actually, I'm going to let Dan Gill, our operations director, head this off.
Good evening, President Halkett, members of the board. I'm here to introduce, we'll bring up Isidro Lopez. He's our mechanical superintendent for the mechanical division and the operations division department, and he's going to welcome up our new employee.
Halkett, members of the board, as stated, my name is Isidro Lopez, mechanical superintendent here with DSRSD. Here to present to the DSRSD board members Daniel Flores. He comes to us with extensive background in water and wastewater. He's got over 16 years experience. Stand up. He's got 16 years experience with collectively with the city of Tracy and the city of Stockton. Previous to that, he's done a lot of machining work in different local agencies. He's already hit the ground running. He's doing a great job. Got a great attitude. I think he's going to be a great addition to our team.
Awesome.
I just wanted to extend my thank you to all of you, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I just look forward to serving the district and working along with you guys. So thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome aboard.
Also next,
always great. That's awesome. That's good. All right. Any others? I see some.
yes, we have also our laboratory supervisor, Heidi Birdsall, is going to introduce two of our chemists.
All right. Good evening, President Halkett and members of the board. I'm Heidi Birdsall, the laboratory supervisor here at DSRSD, and I'm here tonight to introduce you to two of our new employees in the lab. Chris Alvaro comes to the district as an environmental chemist 1 with cross-industry experience spanning pharmaceutical, semiconductor, and municipal environmental laboratories. He brings a strong background in ICP-MS and ICP-OES, which is our metals instrument, including method support, troubleshooting, and instrument maintenance. Chris previously served as a senior scientist with Thermo Fisher, supporting Genentech's drug development workflows, and most recently worked as a chemist 1 for the city of San Jose, where he performed regulatory compliance testing and process optimization analysis for the San Jose-Santa Clara Regional Wastewater Facility. He holds a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Cal Poly Humboldt, and outside of work, he enjoys rock climbing, and he's a really good bowler. All right, Monica Schwartz is an environmental chemist here at DSRSD. She just joined us 3 weeks ago, about a month ago. She brings over 10 years of experience in analytical chemistry with a focus on regulatory compliance and laboratory optimization. Monica's career began in aquatic toxicity laboratory, where she spent 4 years testing wastewater samples using a diverse range of organisms. She then spent 6 years working in a refinery, specializing in environmental monitoring, instrumentation, and wastewater systems. Monica is now excited to begin the next chapter of her career here at DSRSD, expanding her impact in drinking water, recycled water, and wastewater sectors, and contributing to the protection and sustainability of our vital water resources. One fun fact about Monica is that she played soccer for 15 years, and she is also an awesome bowler. I don't know if you want to say anything.
So we've got some challenging.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
working here so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing working here and getting to know.
Awesome.
Great.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Definitely excited to be here as well, and to get to be a part of the team has been a great enjoyment so far. So
Welcome.
I'm happy for
Welcome.
the rest.
So we note one thing: in a month, they need to be on 2 separate lanes.
All right, is that all for 4A? Excellent. Public comment. I see some people I don't recognize. Any public comment? I have no cards. Anything?
No speaker cards.
Got it. Okay. All right, 5 suspense. Agenda management,
No recommended changes.
except depending on how we go, we might forego the closed session, right? Got it. Okay. Consent calendar. These are items that we typically take as a whole. I've got a 7A through H, many items. Anybody want to pull anything, or
Put a motion to approve as stated.
we have a motion?
I'll second.
We have a second. Pause for a second. Nobody wants to pull anything. Let's do the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. No abstentions. 5-0. 4-0. You're right. Board business. Receive presentation and adopt proposed Livermore Amador Valley Water Management Authority LAVWMA operations and maintenance budget for fiscal year 2027. Mr. Gill, I assume that's you. All right.
Yes. Good evening, President Halkett, members of the board. I'm Dan Gill, the district's operations director, and I'm here to present on the proposed fiscal year 27 operation and maintenance budget for LAVWMA. LAVWMA is a joint powers agency created in 1974 by the cities of Livermore, Pleasanton, and DSRSD. In accordance to the 1980 operations agreement, DSRSD is responsible for performing all required operation and maintenance tasks necessary to meet LAVWMA's obligations for the conveyance of treated wastewater to the East Bay Dischargers Authority System, or EBDA. And we are to prepare and adopt a budget regarding the O&M costs anticipated to be incurred in the upcoming fiscal year. This is the LAVWMA system map. The system began operations in 1979 with expansions in 83, 87, and 2003, which brought the maximum discharge capacity to 21.2 million gallons a day. The system includes 3 holding basins with a capacity of 18 million gallons, a pumping plant with 10, a combination of 500, 600 horsepower pumps with enough power to pump water over the Dublin Grade to the San Francisco Bay, and a combined 23-mile long pipeline, 6.6 miles from Livermore to the pumping plant, then another 16 miles to EBDA. LAVWMA is a system that takes the treated wastewater effluent from the Tri-Valley and exports it west to the San Francisco Bay at a deep water discharge near the Oakland International Airport. This evening, we are asking the board to approve the LAVWMA portion of the budget. Then this will be brought to the LAVWMA board, which they'll consider for overall approval on May 20th. On this slide, we have the actual expenses which were incurred on fiscal year 25, which are approximately just over 3.1 million. For this fiscal year, the adopted budget was 3.6 million. And we are proposing for the fiscal year 27 budget to be just a little bit over $3.7 million, which is just about a 3% increase of the fiscal year 26's budget. As you can see from the pie chart, the majority of LAVWMA expenses are associated with utilities or PG&E power. Looking at this, I'd like to provide a little background on the nature of LAVWMA's power consumption. Outside of the rainy season is what I'd call routine operation. We can operate the export pumps outside of the time of use, the peak use period for PG&E, which saves us a lot of money. and we make use of the holding basins, so we only pump when we're outside of that peak use period. This is also the case in the summer when our recycled water operation is in full swing. The pumps at LAVWMA don't really pump much and can be operated entirely outside of that peak pricing period. But in the winter, because of the rain, this changes. When it rains, there's more infiltration in the system, so we're treating more wastewater at the regional plant. So the volume of wastewater goes up, and that's when we're really pumping during the time use period, and we really have to use more pumps. So that's why we incur more costs during that winter rainy season period. So when budgeting, it could be a challenge sometimes. We throw in the typical PG&E rate increases, but what factor we have to kind of do our best estimate on is the flows, which changes depending on the weather. So our recommendations and next step are for staff. Staff recommends the board approve by motion the proposed LAVWMA and O&M budget for fiscal year 27. LAVWMA board will consider adoption of the fiscal year 27 LAVWMA budget on May 20th, 2026, and staff will incorporate the LAVWMA expenses in the district's operating budget at mid-cycle. I'm here to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay, good job. Questions? Anybody? Pretty straightforward.
Just one quick question. Thanks, Dan, for sharing this. On the pie chart you show, you said 57% were utilities. I mean, just kind of curious, like over the last 5 or 10 years, I mean, have we seen that blow up even? Has that increased over those number of years? Do we know?
Well, I can't speak to the last 5 years, but I could speak to last year's. Pretty much around the same. The split was pretty much the same. And I would expect it to be proportionate to around what you're seeing here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'll just add that when we have a very wet winter, what was the recent
2021, 22.
Right, it was significantly we under budgeted significantly for that extremely wet season, and then we had to do a budget adjustment. So as Dan said, we project based on sort of long-term averages and what we think, but the weather is what the weather is.
Great, thank you.
So a wet winter is more infiltration, more pumping, so more expense.
Correct, and oftentimes it may delay the start of the recycled water season, so that we're also pumping more over the hill as our customers start to ramp up their recycled water demands.
All right, any other stuff? All right, what do we owe you? A motion to support, right?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Got that? Okay, all in favor? Aye. None opposed. 4-0 for Director Goval's observation. All right, 8B. Authorize negotiation and execution of Mocho Wellfield Water Quality Improvements Agreements with Zone 7 Agency. An oldie but a goodie. Let's see if we can put this to bed tonight.
So, good evening, President Halkett, members of the board. This evening, I'll provide some brief background and a review of the key terms of the proposed Mocho Wellfield Water Quality Improvements Agreement with Zone 7 Water Agency. So DSRSD and Zone 7 Water Agency, we have a long history of cooperating on initiatives to improve long-term water resiliency and water quality for DSRSD customers and the broader Tri-Valley. And these have taken many forms over the decades. We've had shared use of facilities, and we've coordinated planning efforts, and also entered into long-term agreements to address salt management in the groundwater basin, and also provide support for water recycling projects. So this evening, what we're asking the board to consider is an agreement that would support Zone 7's planned construction of a new treatment plant to remove per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, from groundwater at their Mocho well field, And then as part of this project, they're also proposing to expand the Mocho groundwater demineralization plant, and this is an existing facility that removes salt and lowers hardness in the water that's delivered to customers. And collectively, we refer to these as the Mocho Wellfield water quality improvements. And then a secondary benefit of this agreement would be to consolidate a number of existing agreements for ease of administration and efficiency. So as part of the planned Zone 7 Mocho PFAS treatment plant, they will need property from both DSRSD and the city of Pleasanton. So just a little bit of background on this property that DSRSD owns within the city of Pleasanton, and it's shown right here at the intersection of Stone Ridge Drive and Santa Rita Road. In 1999, we acquired this property from the U.S. government, along with rights to pump 645 acre-feet annually from the main groundwater basin. And this was in exchange for DSRSD agreeing to take over operation maintenance of the Camp Parks water and sewer system. So that's how we ended up acquiring this property. So a year after we received it from the U.S. government, DSRSD and Zone 7 entered into an agreement under which DSRSD granted Zone 7 an easement for this pink portion here to construct a well called Mocho Well Number 4. And then in exchange, Zone 7 pumps that groundwater, right, that 645 acre-feet annually for DSRSD. A few years later, we amended that easement so that Zone 7 could construct the Mocho groundwater demineralization facility. So those are the existing arrangements we have with Zone 7 related to this property. So as I mentioned, Zone 7 is now proposing a project to construct a new PFAS treatment plant. This would be the third PFAS treatment plant in their system, and it would remove PFAS, and it would also restore production capacity, which is limited now because of the impacts of PFAS at this site. And then, as I mentioned, as part of this project, they're proposing to also expand the Mocho groundwater demineralization plant. So the proposed site for this new treatment plant is shown right here, just south of Mocho Well Number 4 and the Mocho groundwater demineralization plant. And it will include property that is currently owned by DSRSD, so this corner piece right here, and also the city of Pleasanton. So the key terms of the proposed agreement would be that DSRSD would grant a non-exclusive easement for this treatment plant. It has a market value of about $3,900 based on a recent appraisal, and we would apply that value as our contribution to the water quality improvements. You may be wondering why it's such a low amount, and that's because the land is heavily deed restricted when we received it from the U.S. Government. It's only intended for utility purposes, and if DSRSD was to do anything else with the property, it would revert back to the U.S. government. We would also decline the option to purchase Mocho Well Number 4, which was included in some of the prior agreements, and Zone 7 would incorporate their long-term obligation to pump our quota into the renewal water supply contract that Zone 7 and DSRSD are currently negotiating. And then as part of this new agreement, we would also formalize the arrangement we have right now with Zone 7, where they use the Camp Parks brine disposal pipeline as part of the Mocho groundwater demineralization plant operations. So this is a 4.4 mile pipeline that DSRSD owns. It was constructed in the late 1990s as part of the Clean Water Revival Project that was never implemented. And so beginning in 2009, we allowed Zone 7 to use this pipeline to dispose of the brine or the reject from the demineralization process through this pipeline that starts at the Mocho well field, and use this pipeline to discharge that reject to our wastewater treatment plant. So as part of this, this new agreement, we would formalize this arrangement by granting them a non-exclusive easement to continue to use this pipeline. And in return, Zone 7 would accept all responsibility, risk, and liability for the continued operation and maintenance of the pipeline. So those are the key terms of this proposed agreement. Pending the board's action this evening, the next steps would be to finalize and execute the Mocho Wellfield Water Quality Improvements Agreement. Zone 7's board approved this agreement in January, and staff from DSRSD and Zone 7 are also working to prepare the legal descriptions and easements that would be recorded for the conveyance of the property to Zone 7, and we would bring those back to the DSRSD board for formal approval at a later date. So we are happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. All right, any questions? Open mic night. Anybody want anything?
Quick comment.
You can. Whatever you want.
I think this absolutely makes sense. It's supporting what we need to do to support the region. It's helping us mitigate issues with PFAS and empowering our wholesaler entity to do this. And it's offsetting some liabilities that I believe are on our books. So to me, this absolutely makes sense, and I'm fully supportive of it. Thank you.
Excellent. Anybody else? Okay. How about a motion?
I'll go ahead and put the motion forward to authorize the director or the general manager to negotiate and execute the Mocho Wellfields Water Quality Improvements Agreement with Zone 7 Water Agency in the form approved by the General Counsel.
All right.
Second.
Give us a second. We have a motion. Somebody seconded it. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unopposed. 4-0. All right. 8C, approve proclamation honoring retiring Administrative Services Director Michelle Gallardo. Is this you, Jan?
Yes, it is my privilege to cover this item. This evening, we are recognizing Michelle Gallardo for her 19 years of distinguished service to the district. Michelle will be retiring on May 1st, and tonight marks her final board meeting.
Woo.
Michelle began her career with the district in 2007 as an HR analyst too, and over the next 19 years, she advanced through a series of progressively responsible roles, including HR and risk manager, special assistant to the general manager, and ultimately her current position as administrative services director. Over nearly 2 decades, she has guided the district through significant organizational changes and several emergencies: the district flood, a blown transformer at the wastewater treatment plant, and of course, the COVID pandemic. And throughout it all, she has provided steady, thoughtful leadership and strong support to a growing and evolving workforce. So on behalf of district staff, we want to express our deep appreciation for Michelle's collaborative leadership style, her dedication to public service, and her many contributions to the district. Congratulations, Michelle, on your retirement. We can't wait to hear about all your new adventures.
Awesome.
So this evening, staff is recommending that the board president read and the board approve a proclamation honoring Michelle Gallardo for her 19 years of exceptional service to the district.
I got my reading. Thank you for the intro. Now I'm ready to go. All right, here. In recognition of her service to Dublin Cinnamon Services District and to the community, whereas on January 8, 2007, Michelle Gallardo began her distinguished career with the district as a Human Resource Analyst 2, and whereas over the course of her 19-year tenure, Michelle advanced through several increasingly responsible leadership positions, consistently demonstrating exceptional professionalism, sound judgment, and dedication to public service. And whereas Michelle was promoted to Human Resources and Risk Manager in 2010, served as Interim Organization Services Manager from 2013 to 2015, was later promoted to Special Assistant to the General Manager in 2023, appointed Interim Administrative Services Director in 2024, and ultimately being promoted to Administrative Services Director in 2025. And whereas in each of these roles, Michelle effectively oversaw and strengthened essential district functions, including human resources, risk management, public communications, information technology, legislative affairs, emergency response, and safety. And whereas Michelle's professionalism, strategic insight, and steady leadership are instrumental in guiding the district through significant organizational transitions and an evolving workforce, always with a focus on service, integrity, and long-term organizational success. And whereas Michelle has been a trusted advisor to the general manager and the senior management team, and an exemplary leader to staff, fostering collaboration, engagement, and staff development throughout the organization. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Directors of Dublin Cinnamon Services District, a public agency in the state of California, counties of Alameda and Contra Costa County, congratulates Michelle Gallardo on her retirement and recognizes her outstanding leadership and dedication to public service, adopted this 21st day of April 2026. Woohoo!
And put a motion to approve.
And now, yes, last time I screwed that up. So, do I have a motion to approve this proclamation?
He moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Okay. Now let's go do some photos. Photos on the good part. Here we go. What did I do? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh, did you get these? Oh no. I thought I screwed up.
No, you did great. Perfect. You always do well.
I was going to say, and page 2.
All right. Wait. Can you go here? Two. This side, two on this side. Do this.
You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right.
We can take a lesson from you.
Yes.
Ouch.
I think only Jonathan has more seniority now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, Penaflor?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No crying. We don't do crying in board meetings. You can cry if you need to. Whatever you need to do.
Later.
On May 1st.
Okay. 8C is now dispensed with. Well done. Thank you for reminding me to do the motion. Last time I screwed that up. 9A1. Joint Powers Authority and Community Reports. I have none on my list. None on my list. None on that. All right, we're done. 9A2. Submittal of written reports for day of service events attended by directors. Written reports to do this evening. Does anyone have any to go? I'll go left.
I attended the CASA Finance Committee via Zoom on Monday. We've Shakira's been ill, which is why this has been delayed for so long, because the audit was done in December. But we reviewed the audit and, of course, accepted the report, which was no changes except for 2 date changes. So as far as we're concerned, that was good. The second thing we did, though, is go over the budget. And interesting budget with all the new members and the increase of 3% in the dues. We're now projecting a $33,000 overage profit, if you want to call it that, which it isn't. But for the fiscal year ending June 27, we spent a lot of time discussing it because it's been very difficult to project the cost of the conferences now, because the food is going bananas. in terms of cost, even the rooms. And we've had to move to a much more expensive hotel. But we're right now projecting that there will be a leftover, a profit of $33,000. This really only sees about a 1% overall increase in the budget. So we think we're in pretty good shape, but again, this past year, we were $10,000 short. I don't think that's a big deal in terms of what we take in. We take in several millions. So we passed it on to the board. The board should approve it at the next board meeting next week. Other than that, that's it.
Good for you. Sir? All right. 91. NA2's done. New agenda items. Anybody have anything? Shaking heads here, shaking heads here, shaking heads there. Okay. 9B, staff reports.
Board should have received an invite to Luz Gomez's award event. She is the East Bay Mud president and also a DERWA board member. So it is this Wednesday, April 22nd from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Lafayette Veterans Memorial Center. It's not too late to sign up if any of the board members are interested in attending. Just a reminder for the board that we have a special board meeting on Monday, May 4th. We had to move that to avoid the conflict with the Aqua Conference. And then the board may have heard or picked up on, we have our employee recognition event on May 21st. The entire board is invited, and there may or may not be bowling involved.
Not with the new ringers we have in the lab. We can't pull them anymore.
I think I get to make the rules, don't I? No.
You have ringers.
So, and then as far as the general manager's monthly report is included in the board packet, we did include an update on the water supply outlook for this year. I'd gotten a couple questions on where we were at. April 1st, they could sometimes do a survey on May 1st, but April 1st is typically the last one, was pretty dismal. It was like the second lowest in history, or recorded history. But the state water project allocation is 30%. We've gotten some, last rains here in snow in April. Zone 7 is still projecting a fairly good outlook, especially because their storage is high. We will bring that report to the board later, probably in June after that report is presented to the Zone 7 board.
Thank you very much.
And no closed session this evening.
All right, any questions? Okay. We can dispense with 10A because we don't need it. Dispense with 11 because we don't need it, because I'm not going to report from a closed session we don't have. So unless somebody has any other issues, I'm going to bang the gavel on 12 and call it a day. Okay.
32, 33.
33. 6:33. There we go.
iPhone says